Well, hey, everybody, I'm Holly Tate, Senior Vice President of Growth here at Leadr. And today I am joined by Scott Rutter, who's the Executive Pastor at Next Level Church in Virginia. Hey, Scott, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Holly, thanks for having me.
Well, anytime we get to share our customer story, that's one of my favorite things to do. And so I'm really grateful to dive in today and get to hear from you. But before we jump in, would love for everybody to get to hear a little bit about your story and Next Level Church.
Yeah, so Next Level, we're here in Yorktown, Virginia. And so if you are familiar with American history, that is where the British surrendered to the American colonies to win the Revolutionary War. So ton of history in our area. It's a lot of fun. And I've been on staff here at Next Level for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. And we just celebrated our 10-year birthday as a church back in April. So yeah, it's been an amazing ride. I've loved being on staff here in Virginia. And I'm originally from Philadelphia, spent some time in Illinois on staff at a large church out there, and then made the move out here to Virginia, back to the East Coast, I guess. So yeah, we love the area, love Next Level, and what God is doing in and through our church and the community.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to Next Level Church. That's
Thanks.
exciting.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you've been there for half of the history of the church. That's a good milestone to celebrate. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about over the last 5 years as you've built the team and led the team. What have been some of the primary leadership challenges that you faced at Next Level?
Yeah, so we are a smaller church in the sense that we don't have like the massive budgets and large staff, and so we really need to be decisive in who we hire and who we're developing and everything like that. And so one of my chief roles is to maximize our staff's potential and really help them get to where they need to be and where they want to be in their leadership skills and ministry skills and all of that. And so I just spent a lot of time meeting with them and trying to develop them and bring them along and help them just continue to help us grow. And so that was always a constant struggle of like, okay, how do I continue to pour into them? How do I continue to invest in them? How do I maximize that one-on-one meeting time and make it more than just, hey, we get together once a week for an hour and everybody leaves and we don't know what we talked about, or we talked about some stuff, but then next week, nobody remembers what we talked about. And it's like, we have to spend half the next meeting trying to figure out what we talked about and decided last meeting. And so it felt like we were constantly just trying to spin our wheels and not really make any headway in any of those areas. So that's probably one of been the biggest challenges that we were experiencing before signing up with Leadr.
Yeah, I've been there where you're like, what in the world? I know we had a meeting last week. What did we talk about and what outcomes were supposed to come from it? Because I cannot remember it. So especially when you're the executive pastor, or in really any executive, but in a church setting where your job description is a million miles long because you're like the head of finance and operations and usually like the staff care and discipler of the team, and you're also like preaching sometimes, and so it is just such a big role. And so to be able to consistently also give your best to the people that you're trying to develop is not easy. That is for sure. So talk to me about the solutions that Leadr brought to the table as you were considering partnering with us at Leadr. What solutions were the most intriguing to you and that caused you to sign up?
Yeah, so I think the first one, the biggest one, is the one-on-one or the meeting features of that, where each person who's involved in the meeting, in our context, it'd be the one-on-one meeting. So it allows each person in that meeting to set the agenda, add comments, add topics, and so that just really helped, expedite the productivity of our meetings, like where everyone was showing up prepared, everyone knew what was being talked about. There wasn't really any surprises because, before then I had a notebook for each of my meetings and I would write out topics and stuff like that. But the person who I was meeting with had no idea what I was going to talk about. And so then sometimes they'd have to go back and find the answer or get the data or think about it a little bit. But with Leadr, I'm able to put it in when I'm thinking about it, and our team checks it ahead of time. And so they're able to come into those meetings way more prepared, and those meetings are way more productive. Also the ability to add in like those check-in questions where it's like, hey, tell me about your life. How are things going in your world, with your marriage, with your family, things like that. It's definitely been a huge bonus. And then the action items out of that, like just being having that accountability and tracking. It's like, now we don't have to remember or try to remember who was responsible for what. Like, it's like, hey, it's all right there. And we can say it's a one-stop shop. And then I guess secondly would be the like where you have the interests and the personality profiles of all the different staff members. Like, I had that information in a file cabinet. And so anytime I was like, oh, what's that staff member's favorite drink? Or I had to go dig out that piece of paper and try to find it. And now it's all in one place and it's glorious. I love when things are streamlined and integrated. And so that's probably my love language, is integration, when all the things work together and I don't have to go to 300 different places to find something.
Yes, I could not agree more. And the care card is my favorite part of our tool, because not only is it helpful to just find everything in one place, but for me as a operational leader, I'm always like jumping into my to-do list. It reminds me to just stop and take a pause and remember that it's about the person and not just the projects. So that's awesome, Scott. Well, tell me about life after Leadr. So how has the team adopted it? What do your one-on-ones look like? As far as, it sounds like they're a lot more collaborative now, since they're not just in your notebook before the meeting, but how has the team responded to it? So life after Leadr, I guess, what does that look like?
Yeah, our team has responded really well. Everyone is using it for the one-on-ones. And then anytime we have like a team meeting, whether it's a one-off brainstorming or like our programming team, we'll meet on a regular basis, and they're using it as well without me. I'm not part of that meeting. And so they've really embraced it and started to use it as well. So yeah, everyone on our staff is using it and contributing to it. And there's agenda items from both sides. I'm not the only one putting stuff in there. Our team is putting things in there and questions in there and everything. And then we've started to use it for our, our mid-year and year-end reviews as well, having those tracked through there as well. So once again, those used to exist in a file in my file cabinet. Now they're all in one place. I think our team has really enjoyed it. It's made our team a lot, takes a lot of stress off of them of trying to figure out those meetings. And then some of our staff aren't as strong in the detail area, and that's okay. They've got other gifts, but this allows them to track those action items, and there's some accountability there as well. So I think overall it's made us way more productive. It's made us way more united to the fact where we all know what each other's doing and come into these meetings prepared and everything. So yeah, it's been a huge win for our team, and our staff has really embraced it.
That is so good to hear. That's awesome. Well, anything else you would share, or any last words of wisdom for a leader out there that's looking at Leadr to maybe bring on board to their team?
Yeah, I would say that, we have 6 staff members. And so I know that sometimes as a smaller staff, you're like, is this really worth it? Do I really need it? And for me, it's been a huge asset, a huge benefit. And even with just, being a smaller staff, I would say like, this is a great tool. You won't regret your decision to sign up and use it. We are reaping the benefits, and I can't imagine our life without a tool like Leadr. So it's been a huge win. So go ahead, take that jump, dive in.
That's awesome. I know I say that all the time. I know I'm biased, but I literally don't know what I would do without Leadr now. Like, I'm like, what did I do before I joined the Leadr team with meetings? And I can't imagine life without Leadr. So I'm glad you feel cabinets. The same thing.
That's what we did.
Exactly. Filing cabinets.
I don't want to go back to that.
That's right. Well, Scott, thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing in Virginia and at Next Level Church. We are so grateful to be working with you and partnering with you as a customer, and can't wait to see your team continue to thrive as you implement those effective one-on-ones.
Yeah. Thanks, Holly. We appreciate it.